Okay, we'll start our work session. Is John gone? That must be. Okay. All right,
He was talking about the cement towers. I think you want to get your guys' input on the preservation of the cement towers.
So we'll do a little research, and we'll get back to them.
county lines, no,
That's what I told him. But the historical board, I believe, was the historical board, he said, it was inquired. Was in there too.
okay, resolution,
I'm sorry, Dave, as long as we're talking about that, I guess that's for sale and there's a buyer buying it for solar farms. That's why it's coming up. What? Sorry.
no, I always thought it would have been a good thing to visit. And open up a couple of the mines to show the people what it used to look like and start a brewery or a winery. But
Not sure.
I have ideas, I don't have money. So any of you that got a lot of money out there, what's that idea? Right. Okay, resolutions and motions, the first one is the local law number 4 to set a public hearing for the tax cap override. Joe, we do this every year, even though hopefully we don't have to use it. Second is a resolution to set a public hearing for the budget.
Fine.
Third is to pass a resolution for local law number 2, chapter 150, as long as we don't get inundated with a whole bunch of negative people this evening.
Which one is that?
That's one sentence.
Oh, I got that one. I figured that would be like a whole book.
Okay, the only other thing there is a resolution of highway equipment. As you can see in your little packet, there is a resolution to purchase, a resolution to bid, a copy of the specs for the bid. It's up to the board what you want to do.
Well, I would like I said, I stopped to see Dave. And I told him I was okay to move ahead on this if it went to competitive bidding. We got the information on ours, but also to make sure that we can get detailed reports from the highway department on equipment usage. And which I gave Emily and Mike a copy of that. It's whether it's section 32 of town law. Which we can do that. So if we get all that. I would say I would be okay to move on it, but until I see a plan on that, I'm not really, I would vote no tonight.
I'm okay with doing that.
So do we what? Not
We
doing anything tonight?
Yeah, I think we should table it and talk to Mike about that and see if that's something he's willing to do.
I mentioned it to Mike. And his response. The public information is, he couldn't make any promises. You see what he could do, but he couldn't make any promises. But you deal with that as you want.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
Okay,
Okay,
so we have no one wants to make a motion or second it, or do anything, just table it.
We're not gonna bring it up for vote on them.
We can,
we can, I will, you got 2 no's right now.
and I got a yes, and
I voted yes on it. I wanted to purchase it from the get-go.
Yeah.
It was under a bid, as we understood it. And if Patty is still a negative, then table it.
well, it's up to Joe.
I'm still the same as last time.
Undecided?
No, he's, yeah, when we left, him and Patty were.
Okay.
And
There goes-
we'll keep the 25-year-old piece of equipment. Oh, well. That takes a motion, highway equipment planning,
Is that tabled then D?
D, yeah, will be,
That has to be for the agenda changes, number 5, D is tabled? Or we don't do it till we get to it?
We can do it under the changes, agenda changes. Just take it off the agenda. Okay, planning,
E and F.
nothing. Just in case we had anything. You'll always see that.
Well, good show. Oh, thanks.
Mark up a copy. Planning, drainage, I've said this 3 times. I have nothing. Water sewer, yes, we do. I don't know, you wanna talk about this,
I
guys?
see a new excavator sitting up there.
Sort of.
Stop sign.
Then that's been there for a week.
Yeah, we've received a schedule in, well, let's step back first. So we sent them, we've been talking with them throughout this month about when they were gonna start. Every time we would ask them when they were gonna start, we'd get the thing would push back again. So with the supervisor and the town attorneys, Wendell sent a letter to DJM reminding them that time is of the essence and that November 14th is, or November 18th is still the date end for this project for substantial completion. We also then requested a schedule to make sure, you know, could they still meet it? And they had to provide the schedule by noon or 1 p.m. today. So they did provide an Excel schedule to us that shows them meeting the schedule. Dave, you can.
What do they got left, Scott? This name road
They have NAP and,
and the one Kirby?
yes,
And testing and restoration of the
Yeah.
services.
So-
And they haven't even started there, but it's just sitting there in the corner.
Correct.
Correct.
they have knocked zero rock.
What is that, like a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile for Knapp Road approximately?
Oh, God, no, it's longer.
Longer than that, so a mile
It's over a mile, I would say, from the corner out to.
to the
Yeah,
town
something
line.
like that. I
On the line.
can't remember.
Miles is the last one. in the-
Yes. That's the last house in our town.
So they gave us a schedule. There are obviously some questions on that schedule. We'll respond to it. It shows them finishing on the 18th. I do not believe that will be the case. Then it'll be the town's decision what to do at that point. So that's one piece of it. They've told us now that they will be on site this week, probably starting Wednesday. We'll see. All I can do is keep asking them. The other piece is that with all of this stuff that we've been doing, kind of been telling you guys about this from the start. Wendell is essentially out of our funds for construction administration and construction observation. So, you know, I do have kind of our proposal for continued work on this. I can share it with you guys and then you can, you know, review it, discuss it. There's 2 pieces to the schedule or 2 pieces to the fee. One part is our construction administration. It's basically kind of my work and Rob Kuhn, who also works on this in the office, kind of making sure that the paperwork gets done, these kind of letters to DJM, keeping them working. The other part is the construction observation, which is a time and expense fee. So that fee, while we have a number in there, I expect it will be less than what we show there. Just because, to be honest with you, they only have like 7 weeks left. So, you know, time after that, then the town can decide what you guys want to do about liquidated damages or anything like that. So I believe the number.
So you're putting numbers in, but they're probably going to have to be adjusted because of the time and we don't even know when they're really going to start in order for you. to
Well,
start.
what we do is this. So the administration piece is a fixed fee.
Okay,
Based on us kind of having, knowing we have to do pay applications, we have to do kind of a review of their testing documents. You know, just the weekly things of the office people. Then there's the fee, which is the observation fee, which is when we have to be out there on site. That on-site part, we just charge you for the hours that we're there. Okay, you know, so if we give you a not to exceed amount, but we usually set that high so that we don't have to worry about coming back for another resolution.
It's easier to give money back than ask for more.
Well, we don't even give it back. It's just
What?
that
We just don't spend it.
we just don't spend it.
Okay,
So we send the bills, you know, we give the
Yeah.
monthly bills to county.
I got these this afternoon. I will make sure I'll forward them to everybody. And if you have questions, we can talk about it Monday night. It's what we normally do when we do water stuff.
so is that like contractual, we kind of, would that be discussed in executive session, so we get everything hammered out pretty much? Okay.
I should think so. We better start the game plan now.
Plus, that'll give us another week to see where they're really at.
Yes.
I wish I was more optimistic than I am.
How the reputation didn't sort of spill over Soviet or something.
Again, it's a
It's just
public,
crazy.
it's a public bid and we did not have enough information. They've completed projects for Tonawanda, they've completed projects for ECWA in the past. We did not have anything that could allow us. They are, yes, they're the lowest responsible bidder.
But wasn't there kind of an internal rift there that kind of we got caught in the middle of two?
His office manager left
Okay.
during, you know, which was his daughter.
Yeah, so, okay.
But, you know, there's all kinds of interesting things going on.
They may have completed the job for Tonawanda, but we don't know how long. Did they come in under the required time, or was it 2 years later?
Correct. We can't, you know, go
Okay,
into all that.
It's too late, because when we first went out a couple of years ago, it looked legit. You know,
They had their equipment, they had everything that they were supposed to need, we did the due diligence. They gave us references. But
okay,
makes sense.
buildings. Should have put town hall too, but library,
Yeah, I can't find that pesky leak.
But it is still there.
A couple drips here and there, and I've been up on that roof and checking the flashing, and my gut is still telling me it's in the flashing. So I don't know if you, I was gonna reach out to Steve Rott and see if he can come back and look and maybe we'll have to just look at that section and get an opinion on it, whether we can just re-flash it and reseal the top where the rubber meets the wall. Or it's not that big of a roof for that section. Is it something that we just go and just re-roof? I would like to see what his opinion is on the flashing part first, or do we just deal with it till we really know where it's coming from? It's not doing any damage. Christine said today it was like just a couple drops.
it poured like heck here too.
Yeah, so it's gotta be from coming from the wall. Or the, you know, when the wind swirls around, when it gets breezy and that. But I mean, I checked it all and
It's not coming from this portion, it's coming down the wall side.
no, it's coming from the, almost about 10 feet. So if you've been in the library, you know, when you're in the main part of the library, you got that glass window that faces Main Street. So if you go up in the roof, then you take 10 paces, because I walked it off in sides. I walked 10 paces on the roof. And it's kind of right in the middle, 10 paces off and kind of right in the middle. And it's not the drains, because the drains are exposed. You can see the drains.
No standing water.
No, there's no standing water, nothing dripping from there. There's no stains around it. It's just one of them pesky little
No
leaks.
pipes under there.
The only other pipe that's coming in is, I think, for the sprinkler system, and that's it. Not from the ceiling, that comes from the wall. So. It's haunted.
We got
No HVAC lines, condensating, nothing like that.
No, because there's nothing between there. That's why the drains come down actually into the library. It's just. It's a high ceiling there and basically you probably got your wood, your insulation, then probably a vapor barrier, then your roof. And the roof goes up probably 6 to 8, maybe 10 inches. I can't remember, up the sidewall. Then it's flashed in.
Water, man, water.
And that's. I mean, I can run a bead of caulk around the whole thing, but I think I'd be wasting my time because I'd like to get another set of eyes up there, so I'm gonna see if Steve can come out and we can look at it, if that's all right with everybody.
Sure.
Good.
Okay.
Reputable, right?
Oh, yeah. Their business.
He's done quite a bit of work, and he hasn't billed us yet, so.
When the other shoe drops, I know.
Yeah, but everything else he's fixed, he's done a good job on, the gutter and some other small leaks that we had, so.
The other thing at the library is, Lavacat's been up there and
I didn't look at it yet today, did you get? to see
they had
it?
it covered up
Oh,
because
okay,
of the rain. But I know they worked on the building portion.
so I talked to Dave also, and I think Don earlier. And I talked to Don Lavacat to give us a price on the island that has the light, it's not a very big section. What the procurement policy, before we have to get a bid, or something like that.
35,000.
Oh, wait.
For-
I'm sorry for an estimate.
Oh, 5,000.
I think it'd be way under that. I hope.
Okay.
It was cheaper. With the landscape.
Yeah, for a little bit of rock for that, I
Yeah.
know isn't gonna cost that much.
So, but I wanted to bring it up to you guys because I didn't know if that was ours or the village. It is our section. If we're gonna clean it up down there, let's clean it up. And I would ask them to put, and I talked to Don earlier about it and Dave, as far as putting the same rock that we have coming down the bank as we would have there. And so it all kind of matches and clean it up. And the other thing with Dawn, she sent pictures, I don't know if Scott. Being an engineer, the denial library, those columns up front.
Okay.
Would you be able to look at those and see if they're structurally or cosmetic?
I wouldn't, I'd probably be able to get somebody else. I'm not a
Okay.
structural engineer,
Okay,
so
I haven't looked at it, I just went by Dawn's pictures. And
maybe it would be best to start with the pictures.
Okay.
Because I might be able to have a structural engineer look at it and be like, oh yeah, those are likely. Those are likely load bearing, or no, those are
Okay.
cosmetic. Let's start there.
I'll email them to you in the morning.
And then we can see how it can work. I know my structural engineers are kind of slammed right now. So I don't know how fast they can get them out here, but how fast you guys looking?
not fast, are we?
No,
Time allows.
What about on the planning board, are there one or two PEs after their name? Would they be able to comment on that?
I don't know what their expertise is, but,
Don's a civil engineer like myself. I
okay,
don't, he could potentially feel more comfortable with it. I just know I would not.
I'm
Might be worth
thinking
it
it
sometime.
isn't, because what's that come out on, maybe a foot?
yeah, it's a little
Like a decorative.
awning roof that's over the side door at the Denio, and there's two pillars that are underneath that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
And the
about,
one
but I just
pillar's
want the
cracking.
pictures just to kind of,
Yeah,
for our structural engineer, just to be like, hey, if you had the gas kind of thing.
yeah. Right. I'll email.
I'm betting. on-
Oh, it's like, look, that little roof up, I think that's about all. I don't know if it holds, I would imagine that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, see, what I'd be concerned about is, yes, it just maybe holds up that roof, but if that roof comes off.
Yeah.
Air conditioning. Okay,
We could knock it out, and see what it does.
okay, buildings are done, grants, we got a notification today that the village of Akron sent a letter in to Community Development Block Grant. Getting out of, potential sidewalk, so that's done deal, that's over. We'll talk about Community Development Block project tonight in this public hearing. Which we still have the, senior van on board. The county is okay with the fact that it's, as long as the senior group is a, what's the tax number?
501c3.
There you go. And, doesn't have a problem with that, so we can still apply for the grant. the remainder of the funds.
In the parks, we don't hear anything until after the first of the year.
That's the last word I
We
got.
keep getting
I'm
this.
not gonna bother them until after elections, see what happens. Okay, Gaswell, he's supposed to be out this week, we'll see with the weather. To, do that,
Gauge.
change the gauge, and then that should be okay.
And then John Cummings fills in data to send to the state, which is what they wanted. Is that how
More
it
than
goes?
likely, I'll fill it in.
You- fine.
Library board, we've talked about, cleaners. We, officially do not have any cleaners as of
The end of the week.
the end of this week.
They're leaving us?
People Incorporated?
No,
the other-
no, we had two people doing it.
They just started.
Yeah, didn't we just do that?
Yeah, that's,
Springtime.
they've probably only been here 4 months.
Yeah.
maybe.
And then it went down to, there were two,
There were 2.
and then after
one
about
left.
2.5 months, there was just one left.
Yeah,
And
now-
now she's leaving.
She's leaving.
Do we have to advertise for that thing?
Yeah,
We have the potential in-house
possibility.
but I think we still should advertise.
Mhm.
So, I may want, I should have, but can we add that as a motion to advertise?
Yep.
Cleaners. I think basically I don't know what happened to the one person, but the other one was just too much for her. For one person,
For one person.
as far as she was concerned. Okay, so I'll put that under motion for E. Bicentennial? Anything, that we should be concerned with?
No,
At this
we're
point-
just continuing to progress along.
All right, then as far as contracts go, we have a meeting at the end of the week, a pre-bid meeting with the refuse on the 30th. And, as far as the union and fire company, we'll go into executive session.
So move.
Second,
7:10.
Yeah, what time is the 30th with the refuse?
I think it's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock,
Yeah,
and I was planning to do it here.
You're gonna be here?
It is dark.
I'll take.
When will the entire board be at the town hall with, at